All right, so it's been 3 days since I started working these mares, and that's because it rained the last 2 days, and so they've just been standing around. And you may recall that Magic here was pretty nervous when she first came, and that's getting better. Now I still haven't taught her to face me, but she's gentle, so she didn't run away or anything. So we're going to work on that among other things here today. Hey girl. So I haven't touched her since what you saw the other day. It's been 3 days. This is actually be considered the second day of training. I see her pulling away from me. So that's just little things that she needs to learn. But what I wanted to show you, let me turn her around here where you can see the other side of her. See how muddy she is? Oh, what's wrong with you, Steve? Why don't you brush that horse? I will. But the reason that's important is because that means she laid down last night, which means that she's calm enough and, relaxed enough that she laid down. So let me go ahead and bring her out here. We're going to take her to the round pen. That's a really, really good sign, because this mare, my initial thoughts of her, she tends to be a little bit high-strung. And I make these initial, I don't know what you call them, analyses, I guess, of a horse when they come in. And a lot of times they turn out not to be correct. I think, well, this horse here is going to be really gentle or calm, or this one's going to be really nervous, or, whatever. A lot of times I found out over the years that my analyses are not correct, because the horse is so nervous the first time I'm around them that they're not really being themselves. Kind of like, when you're nervous, you're not yourself either. That's just normal. There, good girl. Okay, so I'm going to turn her loose, and we'll do a little round pen work with her here. Okay, so this is, I told you this is day 2, but I didn't round pin this mare maybe 5 minutes the other day. And you can see she needs it. She got a lot of energy. The lady that owns her has been feeding her quite well. She's obviously very healthy. I don't necessarily, I've said this many times before, I don't necessarily believe you need to use your round pen to run your horse and get them tired. These are my goals. I want her to learn that I control speed and direction. That's what I want her to learn, okay? Point, cluck, spank. If I need to spank her tail, I will. She's not paying attention to me at all. She's completely checked out. She's looking at all the other horses. She's got no attention on me whatsoever, none. Point. I need to get her acknowledging that I'm in charge of this outfit. Her attention's everywhere. Let me see if I can get her to look at me. Okay. The reason I did that, because she didn't look at me at all. She just turned her butt, said, "Up yours, I'm going the other way." Okay. There, okay. Was it an accident? I don't know, but she did it right. So I'll let her with that. So my goal here is to teach her that cluck means go, and then I can control her speed and her direction. Okay, let's see if I can get her to look at me. She's better turning in this way. Pretty good. I'll kind of take the pressure off for a second. Let her think about that. Okay, it's a good time to give her a break. We've been doing this about 5 minutes. Let's give her a break and let her think about it. Okay, so she dropped her head. She's thinking, wow, I'd like to roll in this sand. I'll let her do that here in a little bit, at some point. She's licking her lips. She dropped her head. That's really the first time this mare's dropped her head in the 3 days she's been here. It's the first time. I've been watching her from the house through the window. She's had her head up the whole 3 days. And I told you, I'm gonna spin her off. She'd never been away from home before. She'd never been in a trailer before. She's 5 years old, so that's understandable. She didn't eat very well the first day. It's getting better each day. She's eating a little more. So that's just nerves. We'll help her work through that. Okay, speed her up. Good. So she's already learned cluck means go in the first 5 minutes. And they will if you do it right. Do it in rhythm. Point, cluck, spank. That's going to be real important for the rest of her life. When we ask her to go, she got to go. Okay, let's see if I can get her to turn in here. There, good girl. So it wasn't as good as the other direction, but look at that. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Now she's looking at the horses over here to my left. Not bad. Not bad. Okay, now let's see if she can figure this out. Well, again, she turned her head away from me. So that's a little habit. If she does it when you're on her left side, which that's the side we halter the horse from. So she's been turning her head away when somebody put a halter on her. Again, it's not a big deal. Typical kind of stuff. We'll work on it. Ask her to go. Beautiful. And if I can get her to stop and look at me, then we'll quit for the day, as far as this part of it. Let's see what she'll do. This was her good side, if I remember. There we go. All right. So right there, what do we, maybe 10 minutes of a round pinning session? I don't know how long it wasn't very long. But I'm pretty happy with the results. I got her to understand point, cluck, spank, that speed up when I tell her to speed up. Got a little bit of her looking at me. So what I'm going to do here is get my halter. And I do not know if this mare's ever been lunged before. I did not try to lunge her the other day. I was just mostly working on getting her to face me, okay? Which she is not doing, as you can see. So we still got to work on that a little bit more. And I'll show you kind of how something that'll help a lot there here in a minute when I teach her to yield her hindquarters. Okay, so she's pretty gentle. She's not afraid of me or anything. I like that a lot. All right. Okay, so first thing I'm going to see if I can do is I'm going to see if I can get her to flex her head to the side here. Stand back here by her hip. See if I can get her to bend her face. And that's typically what most horses will do. They'll move when you do it because they don't understand what you're asking them to do. So reward the smallest change and the slightest try. If she moves just a little, if she gives her head just a little bit without moving, then I'll release. There. And she figured it out. Look at you, smart baby. Look at you. All right. That's pretty good. Okay. And she doesn't have to get all this perfect. This is the first time, most likely, as far as I know, anybody's ever asked her to do this stuff. I want her to give her face to me. Just bend her in that head and not move. I'm just holding it. Ow, don't step on my foot. That did not feel good. Now my intern there behind the camera thought that was pretty funny because she just got her foot stepped on earlier. Okay, I'll be more careful. All right, there we go, good. So she gave me a little, so I'll loosen it, let it go. Ask her for that. There, good girl. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. She learned pretty fast, didn't she? Beautiful. Beautiful, okay. All right. And since this is the side that she really wants to turn away from us on, I'm going to work this side a little bit more. Okay. There we go. She's moving, so I'm not gonna. There we go. Good. Good girl. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. All right. Now, let's start teaching her to yield her hindquarters. Once she learns this and learns this yield hindquarter cue, getting her to face me will be a whole lot easier. Okay? And if you watch the vlog with Coco, I was teaching her this the other day. I just didn't teach it to this one. All right? So I'm standing kind of out from her shoulder. I'm going to look at her, tap the air. If she doesn't move, I'll tap her hip like that. And she said, "What in the world are you doing to me?" Nobody's ever done that to me before. Okay? And again, I'm not tapping her very hard. It's not a big thing. It's just enough for her to get the idea. Look, tap the air, and that time she moved. It wasn't much, but she kind of got the idea. So it's a 3-step cue. Look, tap the air, then tap her hip. Look, tap the air, and if she moves, then I don't tap her hip. Okay, pretty good. Look, tap the air. Okay, she went backwards, she didn't go sideways, so I tapped her. And you need to erase that. If you tap them, you need to rub them, otherwise they'll get afraid of the stick. Okay, now the reason this look is important, I had a lady asking me this morning about horses at Liberty, which is a whole different, it's not a whole different thing, but it's not something I do a lot of. But I should be able to look at a horse, even if it's 100 yards away out in the pasture. When I do this, that horse should yield its hindquarters and look at me and face me. Because that's the cue. Yield those hindquarters and face me. Okay? Figuring that out, pretty girl? Huh? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Again, she's backing up, so I'm going to tap her. Okay. The reason I tapped her is because I don't want her to think that means back up. I want her to think that it means move your hindquarters like that. Okay. There, she's starting to get the hang of it. Okay. Let's do it again. I want you to move those hindquarters. Move them around. There we go. Good. Good. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to walk away. Give her a minute or so to process. She's shaking her head. That's a sign of relaxing. Okay. She's going to lick her lips. I think I've mentioned this before. I give credit to my friend West Taylor out in Utah. I've learned a few things from him about horses relaxing. You want to wait on that horse to lick their lips and relax. Sometimes you may have to wait a while, okay? But if you don't wait, that horse's emotions aren't coming down, okay? On a scale of 0 to 10, 0 means the horse is asleep, and 10 means they're in a full-blown panic. I got her up to about a 5 with what I was doing there, maybe 6. I want her to come back down to 2 before we start working again. So I want her to relax. She gets a dopamine hit when she licks her lips. Okay, she put her head on the ground, so that's pretty good. Now she's in a frame of mind, we'll go back to work. So I'm going to check out that she understands the lunging, and then we'll do a little desensitizing stuff here. Okay. Okay, so right there she moved before I asked her. I don't want that to become a habit. Okay. Especially with a horse that seems just a little bit high strung. She's not real bad, but a little. I don't want her to start thinking she can move unless I ask her to. So point. Okay. And I hope you saw that. She got really nervous when she heard the cluck. Okay? Which means that she understands cluck means do something, but she just wasn't sure what to do. And she didn't want to get tapped with the stick. And I ended up not having to tap her actually. But that's actually pretty nice. Yield the hindquarters. Okay. Now point the other way. Good. I didn't have to cluck, and I didn't have to use the stick. That's pretty nice. That's actually really nice. And she's real nervous there. See how tense she is and upset? Her eyes are kind of wide. So I'm just going to let her trot around here for a minute and kind of calm down.